Hello YouTube, my name is Maureen and welcome to Reen Reads. I'm just a little flustered right now. I was having problems with my webcam. Oops. Another thing I'm flustered about before I get into what I was making this video for, I was just looking at all the videos I've done so far, and I was looking at my review of The Circle by Dave Eggers, and right now that has like 200 views. Like, what? I can't even fathom why, but that would be why. But let's get on to why I'm making this video. I'm making this video because I'm doing a review, and my review today is by this behemoth, or is for this behemoth of a book, but it's amazing. And it's by Andrew Solomon, and it's called Far from the Tree. The little subtitle is Parents, Children, and the Search for Identity. So, needless to say, this is nonfiction. And this book is huge. I think between bibliography and notes and index, it's about 100 some pages of that. Let me get to the actual, if I could. Now I'm stuck. I should have had this done for you guys. Clocks in at 702 pages. So this is a pretty big book. I have to show you here, the text is dense as shit. Like, it's like reading a textbook. But it's probably one of the best textbooks you'll ever read in your entire life, if you want to put it that way. So, just to give you a little backstory on Far from the Tree. Uh, discusses a little bit about traits that you get from your family and traits that you don't get from your family. So, something you get from your mom or your dad, like their brown hair or their blonde hair or their blue eyes, would be something called a vertical trait because it comes down directly from them onto you. Now, something that you would get that your parents wouldn't have, like say you were born blind or you were born deaf, that would be something called a horizontal trait, which means it comes whoop, and you're the only one that has it. So, what Andrew Solomon has done, he has gone and explored about 10 to 12 different horizontal traits, and he's interviewed people with horizontal traits, their families, most importantly their parents, to see what parents do to accept and overcome and to grieve or mourn or do whatever, and how they just get by with children with horizontal traits. So I'll let you know what they do here. Talk about children who are deaf, which is extremely interesting. I have to let you know, all of these sections that he talks about are extremely dense, anywhere between 50 to 75 pages, full of information, full of stories and scientific knowledge and history. It's all very, very interesting. So he talks about children who are deaf, children who are dwarves, children with Down syndrome and autism, children with schizophrenia, children with just a profound physical or mental disability, prodigies, children who were born as a product of rape, children who commit heinous crimes, and transgender children. So you put all those together and you see the amount of research that Andrew Solomon has done. It's astounding. And at times when I was reading this, I will let you know, if you do decide to pick this up, it will be one of those things, at least for me, that I just couldn't stop. I was so immersed in finding out more about deaf culture, more about um, dwarves, more about especially children with autism and Down syndrome. It was all extremely interesting, and it just makes you. This book really just makes you think, and it just makes you become more aware of, you know, the things that people go through and how they all seem to have this one unifying trait, and that is that, what they do to get by, and the love that they have for their children. I think that was one thing that was definitely seen through all of those, is that they all very much love their children. and it was incredible to see that because I mean, like not obviously, but there isn't anything wrong with me physically, and I don't really have a horizontal trait from my parents, but it was interesting to definitely see and read about some of those things. So, would I recommend this book? Most definitely. If you are interested in anything about science, family, psychology, I would definitely recommend this book. It's extremely interesting, extremely helpful. And again, it's extremely dense. If you don't want to, and I was carrying this around with me when I was going back and forth on the train. It is a very heavy book, and I think that's another thing that, there's hair in my book. Weird. Um, I think that's another thing that kind of pushed me to read it a little bit faster is because I was kind of tired of carrying it around. But it was definitely worth it. It wasn't something that I was speeding through. It was something that I was absorbing all the information and just reading along. And it was very interesting. Andrew Solomon did win a butt ton of awards for this. He did win the top 10 best books from the New York Times in 2012 and the National Book Critics Circle Award winner. Um, yeah, it's crazy. He's an amazing author, and I'm totally gonna read The Noonday Demon because that's all about his battle with depression. So hopefully I can get something out of that and maybe be able to cope with whatever ish I have. And yeah, I don't know. I just really, if I could shake Andrew Solomon's hand and say that he's incredible for talking to all those people and, opening people's eyes, then I would because damn, that's about it before I get too emotional. Um, but that's about it. I would definitely recommend this book. I got my copy at Barnes and Noble. It was on the books you should read table with all the paperbacks. So it's pretty awesome that this is in paperback, and I think you guys should check it out. Alright, I think that's about it, guys. So, YouTube, till we meet again.